It's been a year since Sixto has been obsessed with a young lady he calls Winona. He fantasizes about her, but never has the courage to befriend her. At his university, his professor, Mr. Agulto, reprimands him for having a mediocre documentary for his thesis and advises him to make a documentary about his passion and goals in life. Wanting him to finally graduate, he advises Sixto to rent a better camera and microphone as he couldn't understand what's going on in his film. The dean calls Mr. Agulto for failing the student's evaluation for the second time. Knowing he can do more as he used to produce good documentaries every year, the dean urges Mr. Agulto to produce something good so he can finally give him the promotion he badly wants. Sixto calls his mother and asks for 5,000 pesos because renting out a camera and his other needs for his thesis took a chunk of the allowance she just gave. His mother tells him she'll try to borrow money and begs him to try his best to graduate. He reminds her that if only she had agreed with his suggestion of study in the province, he could have graduated and earned money already instead of being stuck in school. Sixto's friend Lepo offers to lend Sixto a camera and everything that he needs for his projects, but urges him to drop his degree, saying it's useless. As Lepo seems to have a lot of money, Sixto asks him what he's been up to, hoping he can take part of it and earn too. Lepo introduces him to online ending. On their page, various items up for grabs are posted, and the bettor should correctly guess a basketball game's final score number combination to win. As an online ending movement agent, his job is to find prospects who'll bet a lot, but won't tell the police, introduce them to the betting, and let them get addicted to it. Win or lose, the agents get a chunk of the money the prospect spent, and they'll hand in 90% of their earnings to their team leader, who will then pass it to Boss Paps, the boss of the operation. The betting also covers selling women's bodies. Women are posted holding items, which are presented to be the prize. But in reality, the woman is the real prize. As he takes Lepo's camera, Sixto sees Lepo's investments in his apartment and hopes he'll also be able to buy everything he wants. Lepo promises Sixto to let him in once a vacancy for agents opens up. He introduces Sixto to acid, but Sixto declines, saying he'll try it next time. On his way out, Sixto encounters Lepo's team leader with two other men on their way to Lepo's unit. The team leader confronts a high Lepo, asking for the money he owes, to which Lepo says he doesn't have much as the business is slow. Suspecting he used the money to buy drugs, he takes Lepo to Boss Paps, who violently punches Lepo while wearing brass knuckles. After Lepo tells him his debt is 200,000, Boss Paps demands that he pay him 500,000 in 2 weeks. While browsing the online ending page, Sixto sees Winona as one of the prizes, and after much thought, he bets on her with the number combination 69. Sixto tells Mr. Agulto about online ending, informing him that he'll have it as his thesis. Positively intrigued, Mr. Agulto tells him to submit initial clips and case studies for him to approve. To Sixto's immense delight, the basketball game's final score is 86-79, which ends in 6-9. He messages the site, asking how to claim his prize, but he ends up getting blocked after lashing out on them for thinking it's a scam. Later, a woman calls him to ask where he wants the prize to be delivered. While waiting for Winona, Sixto nervously practices introducing himself. Unfortunately, instead of Winona, a different girl named Nanette arrives. Confused, Sixto clarifies that he bet on Winona, not her. He demands to get a refund, but when Nanette tells him he'll be going against a syndicate, he decides that they bone since she's already there. Getting to know each other, Nanette tells him that online ending is run by a syndicate that includes businessmen, politicians, and the police. She tells him that her boss blocked him because he was badgering them as he can't wait to claim the prize. As she's a permanent in the job, women like her have protection from the bosses, but they'll be hunted down if they escape. Guessing Winona is a freelancer, she tells him that freelancers are usually students, single moms, and those who just want to try, and they can leave if they want unless they fall in debt to their agent. After Sixto shares his hardships on his studies, Nanette shares that she was recruited in the province to be a sales lady, but when she got to the city, she found out that she's being trafficked. At first, she did it because the syndicate threatened to kill her parents, but when her mother got a heart attack, she didn't try to escape anymore, as she's earning well and she doesn't know where to go. She confides in Sixto that although she got used to it, she misses the life in the province. Before they part ways, she gives him a winning ending card for good luck. Nanette starts appearing in Sixto's wet dreams, replacing Winona, and his obsession with her causes him to get distracted in everything. Craving for her company, Sixto uses his savings to bet on Nanette again, but he repeatedly loses. Frustrated, Sixto finally decides to call Nanette and asks her to meet up with him. When he confesses that his body craves for her, but he's not sure if his heart wants her, Nanette dismisses him, saying it's just lust. When Sixto offers to save her from the syndicate, Nanette quickly dismisses him, saying he's too broke to do so. Determined, Sixto promises to find ways to protect her from the syndicate. Sixto looks for a job and decides to sell Lepote's camera for quick money. After winning a gun from Online Ending, he tells Nanette to prepare to leave. Meanwhile, Lepote is still $80,000 short, even after selling most of his stuff. Remembering the camera he lent Sixto, he tells him he needs it because he urgently needs money. Sixto, however, evades him as he already sold a camera, and he's in a hurry to meet Nanette, who's waiting for him at the bus terminal. When Lepote catches up to him, Sixto confesses that he sold his camera, which angers Lepote especially, because he'd bought it at $120,000, but Sixto only sold it for $50,000. Lepote asks for the money, but Sixto begs that he add it to his tab, as he already spent it to save his girlfriend. Knowing Sixto is talking about Nanette, he calls him out for playing hero towards an OnlyFans girl, angering Sixto. In the middle of their fight, Lepote's team leader arrives and eliminates Lepote, but fails to eliminate Sixto as well. Sixto reunites with Nanette, and they successfully escape to a province. He takes her to his friend's old house, which he's renting for $1,000 per month. They start living like a married couple, and Sixto gives her a makeshift ring, promising to give her a real ring and to build her a house on any land she chooses. Soon their fantasy begins to fade as Sixto still hasn't landed a job. Nanette gets angry about not having enough money to at least buy gas for their stove. Sixto tries to make up with her by buying her lingerie, but he comes home to an empty house and Nanette is unresponsive to his texts and calls. He throws a hissy fit, but he realizes that there's nothing he can do. Heartbroken, Sixto travels back to his Uncle Abner's house, which is his home in the city. When he calls Abner about his return, Abner reprimands him for not answering his calls and informs him that police officers were looking for him, asking for his knowledge in Lepote's death. Sixto denies any involvement, but Abner tells him to not lie to him and to just stay where he is and not come home. When Sixto maintains his innocence, Abner tells him to talk to the police when he arrives. Upon arriving home, an upset and heartbroken Sixto edits his thesis documentary with clips of Nanette that he filmed himself. Not knowing what exactly happened, Sixto weeps as he feels a mix of betrayal and anger. Mr. Agulto initially refuses to accept Sixto's documentary as he never provided the submittals he asked, but lets it slide after Sixto tells him he's been having a hard time in his personal life. After watching Sixto's documentary, an impressed Mr. Agulto congratulates Sixto and informs him that he gave his work to his friend from the Night Watch who's looking for material like his documentary. He assures a nervous Sixto that he'll be credited and will be given an honorarium, and tells him to watch the airing of the documentary in the evening. 2 police officers forcibly take Sixto and torture him for information regarding Lepote's death, as he was seen in the CCTV footage. Sixto maintains his innocence but later divulges information about the illegal Online Ending syndicate. The police release a bloody Sixto, who later receives a call from Mr. Agulto, informing him that his documentary is already airing on TV. Watching the episode, Sixto sees Mr. Agulto taking credit for the documentary and mentions that a student helped him without saying Sixto's name. Mr. Agulto tells him that he was told that it needs an expert on the subject, so he claimed it as his. He assures Sixto that all credits go to him and that they'll win awards because of it. As soon as Mr. Agulto enters his car, an assassin eliminates him. Hearing the shots on the phone, Sixto calls Mr. Agulto, but he doesn't respond. Sixto gets nervous and guilty as he suspects the documentary has a hand on what happened. Rumors about Mr. Agulto taking credit for Sixto's work causes other students to think that Sixto might have eliminated Mr. Agulto himself. A lady named Nieves approaches a grieving Sixto and introduces herself. Annoyed by Nieves for saying that he should be happy that Mr. Agulto is dead because he stole his work, Sixto declines her offer to be friends and pushes her away. Determined to build a connection with Sixto, Nieves asks around for his number and calls him, confessing that she just wants to shoot her shot as she's attracted to him. She asks him out on a date, and although annoyed, Sixto agrees to meet her, but clarifies that he can only offer her friendship. During the date, Nieves commends Sixto for bravely exposing the syndicate. Sixto tells her that he never had any intention of exposing them, and that he just wanted to finish his thesis and graduate. After confiding their grievances with each other, Nieves arouses Sixto, and they end up drilling each other. Meanwhile, at home, Abner's girlfriend's husband fatally shoots him and his girlfriend. As he had fun, Sixto asks how he did, to which Nieves tells him that it's not as good as she expected, but still okay. When he proposes for a second round, she feeds him a pill and calls the syndicate when the drug starts taking effect. While a high Sixto hallucinates a foursome with Winona, Nanette, and Nieves, the syndicate goons arrive at their room and beat him. Boss Paps then arrives and caresses his throat, which ends Sixto. As Sixto succumbs to death, Nieves tells him that it's a pity that he's cute but stupid. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like. It really helps the channel.